Welcome back to Disrupting the Algorithm, a monthly check-in with our Disruptors Network, where we talk to alumni, past mentors, instructors, actors, directors, and anyone who has been part of the Disruptors family. My name is Julio Salgado, and I am the co-creator of the Disruptors Fellowship, a program of the Center for Cultural Power, where I also serve as a senior program manager. Today's Disrupting the Algorithm guest is actor, model, producer, and community organizer Sierra Santana. Sierra has been with the Disruptors program since we started back in 2020, where she has shared her acting and producing skills for our Disruptors showcases. Welcome, Sierra!
Thank you,
I
Julio.
kind of I want to bring people into our the way that we talk to each other. We're like brother and sister, mother and father, and
Mom and dad.
mom and
The mom
dad,
and dad of Disruptors is
mom and
who,
dad disruptors. And I call you my dear Saraya.
and I call you Julio. Just
Yes.
this is how we speak. So
Yeah. Listen, I gotta say, working with Sierra, has always, ever since I met you back in 2020, back a long time ago in
yeah.
2020, there's something about working with you, Sierra, that I appreciate every time that, we do disruptor stuff. But even outside of that, our friendship has grown. So I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. I love you. I love working with you.
Oh.
It's a treat.
I am happy and glad to hear that because right now, more than anything, we need treats, y'all. We need good moments, and we're gonna talk about some things today that I don't, if you're here in LA, if you're here in California, if you're in the US, if you're in the world watching the news, you know that we as an immigrant community, we're it's bad, y'all. It's bad. And so as artists, as creatives, we try to come together and really talk about how we're, kind of bringing our work as creatives, but also as community organizers. And that's why, Sierra, I wanted to, have you on today to talk a little bit about that. But before we get talking about that, I wanna just ask how you're doing. What's the mood right now? How are you feeling? I just said the mood.
The mood, um, you know, it's complicated right now. It's if you're paying attention, then you can't help but feel a sense of dread, but we also can't like move through our days depressed and sad and all of these things. And I also find that joy and just being present in this moment, like this present moment right now, is an act of resistance and kind of the only way we can stay alive and keep our nervous systems healthy. So I feel so much sadness and pain and despair, but then on the other hand, I'm like, okay, thank God I'm alive. Thank God my friends are alive and healthy and safe right now. So I'm just trying to balance multiple feelings at the same time. So right now I'm fine. In this moment, I'm happy to be in front of you. I miss you. I love you.
I
So
love you
yeah.
too. Okay, well, so because you're an artist, and we talk about art all, every time that we see each other and the things that we're watching. We love watching similar shows. We have
Hmm.
a lot of similar tastes, but I'm wondering, what is a piece of art right now that you are consuming, that is bringing smiles to your face? It could be a book, it could be an artist, wink, wink. It could be a TV show. You don't have to say my art.
It's my favorite artist, Julio Salgado. I don't know if you know him, but he's incredible. So I haven't been watching much. I was in New York for a couple weeks, but I would say anything that FKA Twigs is doing just gives me life and makes me feel like a whole beautiful, sensual woman that's attached and connected to my body. You know Twigs, eh?
Yes, her videos are so trippy, and yeah, she's her as her persona as an artist is just so good, and the way she speaks out, also.
Yeah, and she's such a performance artist. Like she's more than a pop star. Like she's a dancer and a voice, and she's very intentional with her work. So anything that she's spinning, whether she's like spinning on a pole or like speaking in an interview, like I'm just like, oh, love you. Great.
Yes. We love an artist that is using, her platform, for good. And I think for me, Doechi Doechi
Dochi.
Dochi.
Doechi.
I want to say Doechi,
I actually like that. You should say Doechi.
Doechi. It's the way that, like she's one of the first people that I actually saw using her platform speaking to like what's happening in LA and saying like, I think it was the BET Awards where she recently she was getting an award, and she was like, "Hey, what's happening in the streets of LA?" I think for artists to, especially for a quote unquote new artist like Doechi, to speak up, it's super important, right? And I think again, right, like being an artist is part of that role, and it could go right and it could go wrong, right? Like we saw during the pandemic, all these artists like getting in front of their cameras and in their mansion saying how they felt bad. It like you kind of have to know how to do it correctly, right? And so I think, I don't know, I appreciate it when artists speak up and do it from a place of love and not in a place of, oh, this is what's trendy. We need more of that.
Yeah, she's a real one. And
Yeah.
if you live in LA, like Los Angeles is a cultural hub. So if you're an actor, filmmaker, singer, songwriter, and you're not paying attention to what's happening to this very prominent community, immigrants, Latinos, like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
why are you here? Like, go back to Ohio. Like,
Oh,
this is our city. Have some.
not go back.
I mean,
Listen.
I mean,
I mean, now, okay, so let's talk a little bit about you and how you started with Disruptors. You've been with us. You're a Disruptors day one, ride or die, and I met you virtually, and we eventually ended up meeting when we had our first gathering when it was a little bit safer to meet. How did you ended up working with Disruptors? Tell us that story. I know.
yeah, so I was working with Joey Soloway, running their social media and working with Topple Productions and doing like creative strategy. And I met Gina Young.
Shout
Gina's
out.
an OG. Shout out Gina. I met her at a Sunday dinner with friends, and yeah. Well, actually, no, I feel like it was Gina who linked me with Joey, and I was working on the social media account of 50/50 by 2020, that activation. We don't have 50/50 representation by 2020. It's not 2025, but it led into Disruptors, which is like, so I was doing social media, and I feel like my role just evolved over the years to go from like social media to like Zoom tech to artist development and casting the showcase. I've been in all of the showcases, which is great, and I feel like I've met some of my best friends in this program, so forever grateful to Disruptors.
Yeah, Sierra has played every like for every showcase. At the end of every program that we have, we produce a showcase where we show 10 minutes of each of the pieces that or the pilots that the fellows create. And we hire professional actors, including Sierra. The past two showcases, you've been the main casting person, right? Or the
Not the
last
past two, the last one.
last one,
I
yeah.
casting, yeah.
Yes,
So
yeah, and I mean a lot of the Sierra has been she's so connected within the actors community in LA. So you bring real and not because casting a showcase show a Disruptors showcase. It's not just about the actor having the talent, but really getting right what the program is about. And I think all the actors that you have brought, Sierra, really bring that joy, and everybody's there because they want to, right? Like you're there doing the work, and we appreciate you.
Thank
All the love
you.
to you.
And
Now, recently, sorry, I interrupted you.
no, it's fine. I'm used to that. So it's just like old times.
Wow. Now you call me out. So, last year or this year actually, we decided to kind of pause the program to really go back to the drawing board and see how we can make the program a little better, right? Like, the issues that we were dealing with in 2020 still continuing, right? But we're definitely living in a different world. You and I recently produced a beautiful gathering in the heart of Hollywood with Disruptors alumni, mentors, actors, and activists. During this gathering, three things came up. Of course, funding for projects is always necessary. Workshops
Strengthen.
strengthen, thank you, their practice, and more gatherings. People want more than ever to have more gatherings of creatives, like the gathering that we had back in May. Is there something that came up for you during that gathering that more artists, more institutions that serve artists should be paying close attention to during these times?
Yeah, I feel like my biggest takeaway based on what people were chatting with me about is institutions and organizations need to listen to the people they are serving. I feel like oftentimes they're more concerned with appeasing their donors or their higher ups, and they're just doing the thing to say we're doing the thing as opposed to actually checking in and being of service to the people that they're serving.
Yeah. It's mind boggling to me that, some programs or any organization that is serving their artists doesn't check in with the artist. One of my favorite things that I love doing, and I mention it here in the pod, is that during every program, every Disruptors program, I do monthly check-ins with fellows, right? Because like as I said, one thing that we started off with in 2020 was this idea that we needed to have more people of color in the writers' room, but things have changed, necessities change, accessibility to things change, right? And so it's important for me to check in at every single month, like, hey, what can we do better? And surprisingly, what I hear from some of the fellows who have been part of other programs are like, usually programs like this don't are not run by like this, right? And I'm like, really? Like you would want to think that it is an extra step to take, but how can you not check in with the folks that you're serving to make a better program?
No, 100%. And I think that's it's a testament to you, but I also think it's a testament to the organization in that it's actors serving actors. So we understand each other. It's not just an organization where you hire a person who's in charge and then the person has no idea how to deal with creatives or how to even speak to creatives. And, you know, we're artists, like we're sensitive people, like we're feeling all of these things at a very rapid rate while trying to be vulnerable and create our art. So this is also a testament to you, Julio. Like you're such a loving and caring person, and just the way that you move through your life, it shows up in how you are as a leader.
Thank you. Thank you. And
Julio, shout out, my sweet baby.
no, thank you. No, but again, and I bring it back to you and to Melanie, right, and to Gina, Kat, folks who really have helped shape this program, and make this program what it is, right? And the fact that for this gathering that we had in May, I was, and I as we were, putting it together, I was like, I hope people come and they that they have the time, and you're like, girl, they're gonna come, the folks. And there's a lot of folks who couldn't make it because they were out of town or whatever, right? But I think it's important that yeah, I don't know. It's a how can you when you create a space for artists by artists, I think the response that you get from people is one of understanding, right? Like when you're, I don't know, you have the experience of working for folks who don't necessarily look like you, and you might not get that love, that you don't receive that same thing. But when I see you doing your own projects with other people that either look like you or have the same sort of, ideas that you have, you just put it, I don't know, the heart goes into it deeper. I don't know. I think so.
No, I mean, I think it's real. It's also, we are serving the BIPOC community, and that's who we are. And I've worked with organizations who have no idea how to serve the people that they claim they want to serve. So,
Again, if you are going to serve people of color or other marginalized voices, make sure that those people are not just the ones that you're serving, but that you're inviting in the creation of those programs, right? Like it's great to have programs that support our communities, but we don't see the person who is making the decisions part of our community. I don't know. It feels sometimes.
if you're just platforming certain types of people to platform them, so it's forward facing and it looks good, but you don't have those people in positions of power and in leadership, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, right? Like I don't there's what you know, right? You know the communities that you know, and I know that I've failed many times, right? And I think what I would want people to take out of what we're saying is that reach out to us, right? And if you mess up, if you make a mistake, it's fine. It's okay. But when you are continuing to make the same mistake over and over, then I personally don't have the energy to kind of like convince people that there are talented people in our community. Like if you don't want to do it, that's fine. We're gonna organize on our own, right? But making sure that reach out to Sierra. Sierra, like is a great producer. She's out here, bringing important voices to the conversation, right? Like we are very like let's not wait until people again what is happening right now in the streets like people are jumping into like oh let's report on what's happening right now so people can see that we care. It's like it would have been great to do this for you to show us that you care now while things are heating up, but before we get to this point, right? So I don't know. To me this is very like we shouldn't wait until something horrible happens for people to care.
100%. But I think that's people, they're coming from a place of privilege, right? If you weren't thinking about immigration during the Biden administration, you're coming from a place of privilege, because I know many people who have been thinking about immigration through the Biden administration, through the Obama administration. So, yes, it's horrific now. Welcome. But I also think it's important to defer to the experts and like listen to people who've been in this fight and who've been doing the thing for much longer, like long before Trump ever came into office. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I've actually, I've had conversations with artists and culture bearers and other folks on Instagram who are feeling very overwhelmed right now, right? Like it's we're literally seeing folks being abducted by, ICE and on the streets, and then we're also seeing a genocide unfold, on our phones, right? As an immigrant myself, I've turned to storytelling as a form of self-preservation and reminding folks that even though during this time by the time this comes out, I'm currently working on a comic for the Delos, shout out to Delos from LA Times, about how immigrants right now, even this like despite all these things that are happening, the world's not stopping for us and the world is moving and people still need to survive. They, and it's a wild time, but I'm turning to storytelling, to kind of document the moment that is happening. I see you using your digital platform to keep folks alert. Are there ways that you're also using your art to meet the moment of today? You, Sierra Santana.
Sierra. I do want to say that I think using your platform, no matter how big it is kind of the bare minimum. So I don't think anyone should get like snaps for showing up and saying the thing. I think today social media is it can be a form of dissent and using your voice. I think before, you're on the streets, you're outside, whereas now we get to say the uncomfortable thing. A couple years ago, like upon like posting about Palestine and like very few people were posting about it, someone um, who was like didn't want to post about it and was afraid made a comment that it was like egotistical and like virtue signaling to post about it. But I'm like, well, you're just saying that because you're afraid to do it. And as we've seen, it was scary to say the thing, right? It was scary to say free Palestine because we saw the repercussions. But I'm also like, I think that fear is the point. It's a part of manufacturing consent because if we can scare you into not saying genocide bad, then guess what? Look at what else we can fucking get away with,
Yeah.
right? So I think using your voice and using your digital platform, no matter how many followers you have, no matter how big it is, again, is the bare minimum and is a form of dissent in not only keeping people informed as much as you're informed, right? Like we're not all experts, so you do have to do your due diligence and like do the work. But it's also a way of saying this is wrong and it's okay to say that this is wrong. And the more people that say this is wrong, then we feel in community and it's like this collective power that grows and we could see like, oh, we all agree genocide is bad. We all agree this is some Gestapo level behavior with these abductions. So, what are we going to do together? Like, we could see how strong we are together.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, right, like there's this I see a lot of the discussion online is like, you could be next, you could be next. And it's like we shouldn't wait until somebody's next for us to see how wrong this is, right? I'm scared, Sierra, and thank you, like friends like you, and I have other friends who like are constantly checking in on me and telling me like, oh, are you okay like that? That to me it's like, but I'm like if even through this, being scared, like I'm able to like speak up and I am literally one of the people that could be targeted. I think the reason why I don't feel as scared is because I have a community, right? Like I know if something, God forbid, something was to happen to me, like I know there's a community that would not let that go by, right? And so it's really freaking scary to speak up right now, but I do it because I have a community behind me and because I come from movement that we never let each other down and we'll stop a deportation if we have to, right? It's a different time right now, but it's important that artists rise up to the moment, right? And I love that, recently Jenny Yang, who is, was one of our instructors and our mentors for Disruptors, for her podcast, her and Margaret Cho were having a whole conversation about it. And, it really makes me feel like I am not alone and the creative community is with me in case something was to go down. So,
No, but that's why I also get frustrated
yeah,
with people, specifically white people and white liberals and people who kind of cherry pick their activism. And it's like, baby, it's all connected. If you're only concerned with this, but you can't speak up about this or do something about this over here, like you're you're also screwed. So
yeah.
I don't know. I just love you so much and I think about you every single day and yeah, you do have a community behind you and I swear to God I'll fight anyone to protect you. I've already told you this. Like I will fucking like yeah, I just Yeah, I love you. So, yeah, so it's obviously a crazy time, and many of us are living in fear, and some are more fearful than others. I think if you're a person with brown skin, like I know I'm walking around with my passport and I'm a citizen, but I still have this lingering fear, like as a woman, as a brown woman, I can be targeted. But I also know it doesn't compare to what you feel and, what you've felt for years. So there have been moments where I felt like wanting to be creative and be an artist felt like superfluous, right? Like I don't get to do that, like I don't deserve that. But the the goal and like my kind of mission statement from the beginning with my career, whether it was modeling, acting, writing, producing, is I want to show people that look like me that it's possible, that we can take up space. And as we've seen, Latinos are the most underrepresented group in TV and film across the board. Look at Dr. Ramon's UCLA study year after year after year, and like the numbers are it's getting worse, right? Like we are not properly represented. We live in Los Angeles, which is predominantly Latino, and we're not represented in TV and film. So I feel like anything that I do that centers Latinas, that centers people of color, that centers immigrants, that centers my friends is powerful. So me personally, I just produced and starred in a short film called Keep Me Company, directed by Helen Fernandez, who's a homegirl, starring me with a white man, and it's kind of a microcosm of how we exoticize Latinas, of how brown bodies are palatable when they're taking care of your kids, when they're feeding you, or when you're sexualizing them, right? But we can never be seen as like these whole, beautiful, multifaceted people, right? Like we're always there to be a utility. And yeah, so that's my short. I have a comedy show called Las Tóxicas
Las
Live.
tóxicas.
Las Tóxicas. So I produced that with Raisa Alicea, and it's hosted by Latinas, it's starring Latinas, and it's just like our way to play and kind of fight back against this like internalized misogyny. Like, were we born toxica or was toxicity thrust upon us? Like, are we actually toxic or are we just responding to toxic masculinity and misogyny? And yeah, I feel like it's just been comedy. I'm also a part of a sketch group called Single Writers Only, which is the showrunner is Helen Fernandez, who I did the film with, and that is starring all BIPOC actors. It's written by BIPOC writers. So these little pockets of these tiny things that I'm doing, I don't know, it doesn't feel, maybe it's not like on this huge scale, but we're centering us and our stories. And I feel like that's the way to just counter everything right now. And even if I'm just making this for the curvy girl who looks like me, she feels seen from my short film. Great. Like, amazing. Thank you.
And we need that. Like, I think another discourse online that I'm seeing is like should like should I promote my show? Should I promote I saw this musician saying like it feels so strange to have a show to promote and while all these things are happening. To that, I say, and even to humor, right? Like somebody was like making jokes about what was happening, right? Like another person who was undocumented, and then other people feeling like that's not the time. Like, I get it, but as someone who is dealing with this, I need the culture. I need the art to be creative, right? Like I don't just want to make art out of pain, but I also want to be able to laugh and dance if I wanted to, right? Like even though right now I'm not in my club era anymore, like I think people need to find the space to like find refuge in the art, right? Like we need it more than anything. I just Melanie and I went to go see Diana Romero's, shout out to Diana, to Dee, who had her one-woman show as part of the Hollywood Fringe, right? Where she talks about, her journey as an immigrant, as a daughter of immigrants, and just the way that people treat the others here in the U.S., right? And so I think the storytelling, I'm doing that. Like as I mentioned, like I need the storytelling. I need the storytellers to continue to make the art because this time is what calls for, right? And I think our creativity does get tested in how we are going to make the art and sort of like put it out there to disrupt, what some of the hurt that is happening right now. And so it might not be for everyone. It might not be, you might not be ready, and nobody should be forced to make art about what is happening because it's very painful. But like seeing what others are doing, I need others to create. So thank you. I've been to the Toxicas live, and every time I go, it's just like it's a riot and it's a laugh and it's a needed laugh, right? We need it. As we're wrapping up, I have a couple of last questions that I've been thinking about. In some strange ways, this attack in our communities have also brought us together. Whether that be showing up for each other via mutual aid. We felt it during the fires at the beginning of the year, right? When LA was like, we saw the fires in Pasadena and Altadena, and I saw you mobilize, during that time. Can you tell me more about that work and the way that you saw communities, mobilize and how that's looking like and how it parallels what is happening right now? People coming for like supporting each other?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I was on social media. I was on Mutual Aid LA. Like we're all watching Watch Duty, right? Seeing what's happening. And I just went to like one meeting, one group. I forgot the organization. And from there, you meet people and you figure out, okay, we need to go to this hub and this YMCA needs this stuff. And it was really just kind of like this instantaneous, like, I just felt like I got in a mode of, okay, cool. Like, what do we have to do? And from there, it was so easy to organize with strangers on the internet. Like, I'm still in connection to this church that I organized with and, getting supplies there. And then people reached out to me and they're like, I know a family here. They need this. Can you help? Great. Another friend reached out to me and is like, hey, I work with someone who knows a woman who was in the Palisades and she's pregnant and has another kid. Can you help? Great. So then I'm organizing another friend, like, you're in charge of the moms. We're getting this. Like it was this wild experience in terms of how easy it was to just be activated with people who wanted to help.
Yeah.
And it really showed me that no one's going to save us. There's nothing on the outside that's going to come and help us. It's not going to be Karen Bass. It's not going to be Gavin Newsom. It's not going to be he who must not be named, right? Like these systems, the government, it's not here for us. What is going to save us is the people next to us. It's what's going to save us is our neighbors. And mind you, I organize with people that I didn't even know. I now have relationships with many of them, and these are people of all walks of life. These are actors. These are people who don't have a lot of money. These are people who have a lot of money and they want to give, but they also want to put on an event, or you know what I'm saying? So it was really such an incredible moment of solidarity that showed me what is possible in this world. And imagine if we can live like that every day, not just when we're in crisis. Imagine if my neighbor didn't have food and all I had to do was put a call out on my Instagram and being like, hey, can we Venmo this person so my neighbor can eat? And it's literally that easy. So that experience and working with the people that I worked with during the fires, once the ice raids hit and these abductions and kidnappings started happening, we were already tapped in and already connected. And then it's like, cool, what do we have to do from here? How do we show up? How do we keep each other safe? How do we get supplies and masks and water to people who are protesting? How do we get money to the people who are immigrants that we know so they don't have to go to work and they can be safe? So I think overall, these moments, as tragic and horrific that they are, I think it's shown us, at least Los Angeles, it's shown us what we're made of and what is possible, and that we're more alike than we are different.
Mhm. Yeah, and the people who don't show up and, just stay on their keyboards and, just don't say anything have always been that, like, and so I also, am thankful for this community and let's keep that momentum going because this is just the beginning of this administration and like I don't know what the next 3 years are gonna look like but knowing that my homies are there with me makes me feel much better. As we're ending, Sierra, is there any folks on any organizations, any people that you would want to shout out that you see that they're doing a lot of support for the immigrant community and not just immigrant communities, but just like for communities overall?
Yeah. First off, it's Churdla.
Mhm.
Like they've been in the game, I think, longer
Long
than,
time.
yeah, they've been in the game. So this is not new to them. And I think my biggest thing is I really just want to encourage people, like, yeah, it's important to get involved and do your thing, but always defer to the experts and the people who've been doing this, because you're just saving yourself a step. You know what I'm saying? Like go to the people who know what they're doing. So Jardla, Imig.org, how do we say it? It's on Instagram. It's like Imig.org.
At imic.org, but I think
Imig.org.
yeah,
Okay.
they're
And
like in Long Beach and LA, and yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And the National Day Laborer and Organization Network, that's NDLON. A lot of these organizations provide training to where you can at least be a bystander. And if you see ICE activity or any abductions, because a lot of these people aren't ICE, I think
Oh,
we need to make that distinction. A lot of these people are bounty hunters. A lot of these people are kidnappers who are taking advantage of this situation. So I do think it's important that we're conscious as to how we label things, and it's not always ICE.
yeah,
So unfortunately, a lot of people have not been located
yeah,
and are very much like disappeared. So we need to be more diligent than ever in how we stand up to these abductions.
yeah. Yeah, I want to shout out to LA Taco. They have been one of the few, citizen journalism, right? Like, I think journalism, that are on the ground and making sure, because again, the beauty and the darkness of the internet is that the beauty is that you are informed. The darkness is that you don't know what's real and what's not, and what's AI, what's real. And so I think people like, spaces like LA Taco who are writing, they're journalists who are documenting and making sure, double checking the people that we see online getting, arrested or the spots where there's an eye sighting like LA Taco. I really follow them, when it comes to like fact checking some of the things that the videos that we are seeing online.
And
Um,
they're also not corporate funded. So as we've seen, unfortunately, the media is kind of bought and paid for. So the cool thing about LA Taco is they're like citizen funded, which
yeah.
is great.
Yeah, so support local journalism, support journalism that cares. I also want to shout out Orale Long Beach, who they're I'm in Long Beach and Orale Long Beach. One of the things that organizations like Orlando Long Beach does and other organizations, they train citizens. I know there's a lot of citizens who are like, what do I do? How can I get, how can I literally put my body on the line, right? Like, and one of the things that people ask is like, if there's an ICE sighting, they, Orale Long Beach and other organizations like Orale Long Beach, they train folks to go and document, check, that some of the things that we're seeing online are real, and so I appreciate them, and so yeah, there's organizations that are doing the work that, as Sierra mentioned, you don't have to do the extra work, and it's just about showing up and asking, what can I do, right? And so I think that this idea that everybody knows what to do, we don't. I've been doing this for a long time, and I certainly a lot of the times I'm like, what do I do, right? And so turning to this organizations, turning to my friends, is great. So thank you so much, Sierra, for sharing. Today we wanted to really kind of get into what some of the creatives are doing, but also like how we're doing, right? As creatives. Any last words before we close for today? Anything that you have coming up? Um,
I think last words is, not everyone needs to be in the streets protesting. I think there's a lane for everyone in the movement and how we fight fascism, and the road is long. I've said this before, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So I feel like my biggest takeaway is to just take care of yourself and take care of your nervous system and take care of your body so you can show up. And sometimes that means like you have to take a day off, right? You have to take a break. Like we can't be so consumed in this pain and this horror, because then we're moving through the world like, not operating like on full steam. So I just really encourage people to take care of themselves and find your lane. Maybe it's writing, maybe it's reposting, maybe it's giving people money, maybe it's going to Home Depot and documenting, even if that means sitting in your car and just watching. Maybe it's studying how ICE agents and police officers move so you understand when they're about to activate. So there's a lane for everyone. I just encourage people, please don't freeze, activate while also being conscious of your physical, mental, and emotional health. But you don't just get to say, "Oh, it's my mental health. I can't be a part of it." No, 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 no. Like we need to be resilient during these times. We need to be strong and step up, get out there.
yeah. Use your privilege in the correct lane.
Thank
Boom.
you.
Thank you. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us today, for being yourself. Please share this video with everyone, and please subscribe to our Center for Cultural Power YouTube page at the Culture Strike to see this and other videos from our organization. Thank you all. Stay safe out there. Goodbye.
Thanks, Julio.
Thank you, Soraya.